Good day to you all. Such a pleasure to be with you again, and especially during this wonderful Lenten season. We're already up to the second week of Lent, and time is moving along. What do we have for you for the weekend? Well, the first reading, Genesis 12, the call of Abraham, our father in faith. The second reading taken from 2 Timothy, which speaks about being patient when we bear our hardships. And the gospel reading is the story of Jesus taking his closest disciples, Peter, James, and John, to the mountaintop and revealing himself to them as the Son of God. I want to focus on the call of Abraham today. Abraham comes to us as a man of very deep and profound faith. Notice that the story, the call of Abraham, occurs at the very beginning of the Bible. And there's a reason for this. It comes just after the story of Adam and Eve, followed by the story of Cain and Abel, followed by the story of Noah. A series of unfortunate events, so to speak. God giving man continually a second chance, and man falls into sin over and over again, until with the story of Noah, God destroys civilization completely. It's almost as though God is tired of mankind. And in the midst of this figure, Abraham, formerly called Abram, appears. He appears as someone who holds steadfast to the promises that God made to him despite all the odds. Abraham remains faithful to the end. And I think, in a nutshell, what Abraham teaches us is that over and above everything else, we must learn to trust in God. Trust in God regardless of the circumstances. Abraham is kind of a redemptive figure, and he points towards the figure of Christ himself. Like Jesus, the birth of Isaac, Abraham's son, is a miracle. Mary, Jesus' mother, was a virgin. Isaac's mother, Sarah, Abraham's wife, was 90 years old when she had him. And God also calls on Abraham to sacrifice his son, pointing towards the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. Now, what all of this means is that faith comes with a struggle. Abraham's life was not easy. He faced tremendous difficulty from day one. It must have been a tremendous struggle to trust God. First, God asked him to leave his familiar surroundings and undertake a dangerous journey. Genesis 12:1 records, "The Lord had said to Abraham, 'Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you.'" Quite a promise there. Abraham must have thought, is this real, or is it all a dream? God promised to make him a father of many people. Genesis 13:16 says, "I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth." But Abraham must have thought to himself, how could this be, because my wife Sarah is barren. Then when he arrives in the land God had promised him, he discovers there's a great famine, drought, crop failure, no job, nothing to eat. Then the people in the land were attracted to his beautiful wife, and he has to pretend that she is his sister. And finally, his nephew Lot goes up against him, saying that the land cannot support both of them at the same time. So Abraham divides the land, and Lot, of course, is a greedy guy. He immediately heads for the land that is fertile and leaves Abraham with the worst part. What is amazing is that through all of this, Abraham continues to believe in the promises that God made to him. He shows us that faith is not easy. It requires us to put aside the physical evidence before us, which may be telling us that things are grim. Our bank account is low. We have tons of bills to pay. The doctor gave us a diagnosis of cancer, whatever it might be. But God has made his promises to us. It requires us to have what might be called a holy imagination. Don't look at what is, but look at what could be. God's promises to us. It requires us to believe that God will not fail us. Whatever God says, he will do. And it is interesting too that God calls Abraham not only as an individual, but as a community of people. The promises are made not only to him personally, but to his descendants in faith. We are called to be a community of faith. Abraham therefore reveals himself to us as a man of hope. His life is an example to us that in the midst of all our struggles, we must never give up, but continue to trust in God. In the final analysis, Abraham's life, as I said, points to Jesus. There are all these parallels between his experiences and what happens in the life of Jesus later on. As I mentioned, one of the most significant things is where God calls on Abraham to sacrifice his son, pointing to the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. So in essence, the story of Abraham really points to Jesus. Jesus is the object of our faith. When things are grim, focus on Jesus. As Hebrews 12:2 tells us, let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfection of our faith. My dear friends, this is a wonderful message to us coming on the second Sunday of the Lenten season. When things are grim, fix your eyes on Jesus. Have a wonderful weekend to you all. God bless.